Remove Inec chairman from office. Abakoba urges President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Olisa Abakoba, a senior advocate of Nigeria and former president of the Nigerian Bar Association, has advised President Bola Ahmed Tinubu that the chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, Professor Momodu Yakubu, must leave office by either resignation or removal. He said this during a statement while congratulating President Bola Tinubu for suspending the governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Godwin Emefiele, and the chairman of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, Abdulrasheed Bawa, over fuel subsidy and foreign exchange corruption. According to him, after dismantling the CBN governor, the EFCC chairman over fuel subsidy and others, the next thing is the Inec. Full congratulations goes to the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu for getting rid of Emefiele and Bawa over fuel subsidy and forest corruption, he said. Endemic corruption has suffered a massive blow. Next is for the president to dismantle Inec. Everyone will agree that logistically, the 2023 elections are the worst in our history. But I do not refer to the merits of the results of the election. Many results are disputed and are in tribunals. Both petitioners and respondents have suffered at the hands of an incompetent Inec. As we await rulings from the courts, massive reforms of the electoral frameworks ought to begin. But this means that the Inec chairman will have to leave office either by resignation or removal. Otherwise, the reform task will be impeded. I add that the suggested reforms have nothing to do with the merits of the election results. Both winners and losers of the elections were victims of the failures of Inec. A deep cleansing of Inec will enhance the confidence in Nigerians' democracy, he stated. Let's look. In less than 3 weeks upon inauguration of our President, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, he has embarked on a number of reforms, including the unification of foreign exchange, the signing of Students' Loan Act, and Data Protection Act. Abakoba, who made the call in the statement he released through his media assistant, Niyi, said for the ongoing reforms embarked upon by the President Bola Tinubu's administration to succeed, Yakubu must be relieved of his office either by resignation or removal. He added, I add very quickly that the suggested reforms have nothing to do with the merits of the election results at all, but winners and losers of the elections were victims of the failures of Inec. Confidence in Nigerians' democracy will be enhanced by a deep cleansing of Inec, Abakoba reiterated. On the other hand, Barrister Amobi Nzelu raised his voice over the 305 billion naira given to Inec during the general election. Amobi Nzelu needs no much introduction. He is the lawyer that took up pro bono cases and over the agitations by the Apo mechanic village traders who protested over the extrajudicial murder of 5 of their colleagues. The slain traders were not only exonerated of the label of armed robbery, but the police administrative panel and the Justice Olasumbo Goodluck presidential panel indicted the police officers led by the then Danjuma Ibrahim and ordered the decent burials of the deceased traders and payment of compensation to the families of the victims. In an interview with one of the newsmen, he stated that the money expended by the federal government to give Nigerians fair, credible and sincere election unfortunately went down the trenches. The conduct of the election didn't just justify the homogeneous amount of money of about 305 billion naira spent on it, because what they gave us wasn't a credible election. The outcome of the election, the packaging of the election, what transpired during the election, if compared with the amount expended by the federal government, it can't justify the election. We should recall that on the 2nd of November last year, the chairman of Inec, Professor Mohammed Yakubu, told the whole world that all the polling unit results of the election will be uploaded on Inec's results viewing portal, and that uploading results will be for transparency and for the party agents to immediately have a recourse to during the manual collation. Should any dispute on the collected figures arise, before such results could be finally collated and announced. Section 64 of the Electoral Act explains how election results should be transmitted to the IREV. Also, the INEC guidelines and manuals for the election in paragraph 8 states clearly that the election must be transmitted via the IREV. In the day of the presidential and National Assembly elections, senatorial and House of Representatives elections were transmitted seamlessly, but results of the presidential election couldn't be transmitted, and it is only INEC that can explain why it is so. I must restate that the election on the 3 offices took place on the same day, at the same time, and polling units. The same system of transmitting the election results was what they applied. So how did it happen that the results of the presidential election couldn't be and wasn't transmitted? The council asked the media people, you see, where a special procedure has been laid down for doing an act by the authority, that procedure, no other one should be followed. That is the position of the law. INEC owes this country an explanation on what happened. Professor Mohammed Yakubu is complicit in this particular matter. If it is a country where rules of law takes precedent, him and other members of his commission and the staff members involved should be facing trial by now, because what they did was treasonable. You see, these old brigades must give room. They have eaten breakfast, they have eaten lunch, and they have eaten dinner. The leftover, the youths are fighting to get themselves organized. They are still fighting for that small pieces. This is so unfortunate. Saying that the laid down procedures for the presidential election wasn't followed, can you convince us the more? You have created the pitch for the football match. You can't elongate the pitch or extend the goalpost in the middle of the game. There are set down criteria that must be met before anybody can be president of Nigeria. I warn myself that the matter is in court, but where the statutes are clear and unambiguous, you don't need any foreign aid to interpret it. The debate that is ongoing now on the constitutional requirements of the winner obtaining 25% of votes cast in at least 2/3 of the 36 states and the Federal Capital Territory hasn't been met by the President-elect, Chief Olisa Abakoba SAN. He saw this thing and wrote a letter to Inec to clear the hoodoo. In this interview with you people, I raise it again that the 25% in the two-thirds of the states in Nigeria and the FCT, not or the FCT, was not met before INEC declared Asiwaju Ahmad Bola Tinubu winner of the presidential election. We are in an examination. They say question A is compulsory and that you must answer 3 or 4 other questions from the remaining 6, and you ignored the one that is compulsory. You will fail that paper. If the drafters of the law did not want to make the FCT a part of the 25%, they would have said so. They didn't exempt any state by saying to the exemption of others. For instance, by exempting Anambra, Bayelsa, Nasarawa, Enugu, and included others. No, they didn't say so. They said the 25% in two-thirds of the 36 states of the Federation and the FCT. I don't think that the judiciary will form a contrary. Do you have implicit confidence in the judiciary?